welcome to a brand new episode of Formula Pod. And today we are talking all about the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, the home of motorsport racing, where everything started. And it was in fact one of those races which actually was filled with action. In fact, clean action rather than dirty action in the previous race. It was a lot more clean. And joining me today, it's not a white team, it's just myself and me here as we had the best performance, I would rather say. A lot better, to be very honest, especially with that pole position, the win. Altogether, it was just fabulous. But yeah, welcome me here back to the show.
Thank you so much, Arjun. It feels so good to be back. Also, just let you know, guys, that if you did not know this, but Arjun and I are massive Mercedes fans. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been on cloud nine, having the best days of our life. It's phenomenal. It's a great feeling to be in it. It feels like 3 years ago where Mercedes was actually dominating, and now we are, well, I'm speechless. I don't want to talk about it. But Lewis, George are doing really well, so I'm pretty happy. And we're going to talk more about all of this in the podcast. And Arjun, you want to start off with the first topic?
Yeah, sure. Like the major story is Lewis Hamilton winning the Grand Prix. And in fact, literally, when the commentators were saying, "We have said this 8 times, now we're going to say it for the 9th time. Lewis Hamilton crosses the checkered flag." Literally, it was emotional roller coaster when I was actually watching that race, because it has been 950 days since he's won. Last race he won was in Saudi Arabia 2021, which basically Max Verstappen brake tested. And compared to the previous race we had in Austria, where everyone was like, "Oh, because Max and Lando crashed, that's why you ended up basically winning." No one is going to say that this week, because we clearly won it on merit. Like, it was just absolutely fantastic. 9 wins in a circuit, 15 podiums in a single circuit, in that 12 of them being consecutive podiums. Like, Lewis Hamilton hasn't been outside the P3 for the past couple of races. Even though he has got bad cars, he was still managing to kind of keep himself in that bracket of top 3. And yeah, I actually manifested by 200 podiums, Lewis Hamilton will get a win. I didn't expect that to come this fast.
You should have wished. You would have wished for $100,000 or something.
Oh man, no, trust me. If I would have put it on a betting platform, I would have easily made tons of money.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. You should have, man.
Literally. Literally, Toto Wolff said last week, "Oh, we're going to win the race with Lewis." I didn't expect it to come this fast.
Fair enough. I feel like Mercedes is obviously they know what winning tastes like, and it's the same thing as once you give a person a gold spoon, anything other than a gold spoon won't satisfy him. And it's the same concept here. Mercedes knows what's winning.
Yeah.
They know what it tastes like, so they're obviously hungry for winning. And for the last 2 races, I think Mercedes. Well, I'm not going to consider George's winning in Austria tactical. I think it was pure luck due to the accident.
Of course.
I'm not saying George is a bad driver. I think George is young blood. He's very talented. But we're not talking about Austria. We're talking about Silverstone. First of all, practice session qualifying was phenomenal for those two. Lewis starting off on the high grids, really puts a team or a perspective of winning. You can. So
Exactly.
it wasn't Mercedes saw an opportunity where they knew that this is one of the golden times where they have to achieve this. It's luck on their side on this time. They cannot mess anything because they know their competitors, Red Bull, Ferrari, are quicker than them. And obviously it's home race. It's a huge thing for the UK. It's a huge thing for Lewis's family. Lewis has come a very long way. And more than anyone, I think he's. I don't know if people know this or not, but the reason why Lewis is 44 is because that's the country code for UK. That's why he's 44. So
Yeah. In fact, like literally that home, like he is basically wanting to be that true representation of what a British driver
Yeah,
is,
it's phenomenal.
you
It's
know.
an amazing feeling to be in. And when people say, "How can you emotionally bond with someone that you have never met?" Try following drivers. Like all the drivers on the grid have some type of emotional attachment with each other, including with us as well. When we see Lewis Hamilton winning, it's your day. Just my when I found I didn't even watch the race. I was traveling that time. The UK bus Wi-Fi is really bad. But as soon as I got off the bus, I saw like 17 messages from all my friends. They're like, Lewis won. And I was like, no way, Lewis won at Silverstone in the UK. That's phenomenal. And it's also a big middle finger to Austria because Red Bull Ring is actually Austria's home race.
Yeah,
So obviously George won that, and then now it's Lewis Hamilton winning Silverstone. So it's a big day. Also, Euro Cup, England's also playing for the semi-finals. So it's it's
I know,
it's coming
right?
home for everything, I guess.
Well, I just hope that this stays a bit consistent as well, because again, it is such a feeling, and trust me, I actually like once was finished the went watched the race. I did call a relative of mine, so he's also like a Lewis fan, more than Mercedes AMG fan. He was a Lewis fan. He's just like, finally, James Allison understood what does it take to get the
Fair enough.
win.
Fair enough. I mean, that's fair enough. I really understand that. It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend.
Of course, trust me, trust me, trust me. But at the same time, again, I felt bad for George. Again, he pushed as hard as he could and did everything. But then that water pressure issue just like was a complete letdown, to
Mhm.
be very honest. Because pretty much George was also performing in such a way that he could be up on that podium itself. And pretty much we saw the podium from last year happen this year. It just Lewis, Max, and Lando. Last year it was Max, Lando,
Can I
Lewis.
just? I mean, I just want to make a
You know?
statement here as well. I think Lando Norris is going to be one of the best drivers very soon. I see the hunger in his eyes. I see the talent. I see, we have seen him as, when he was just starting off his career. Now we have seen him as a matured
Mm-hmm.
up. He's really understanding the phenomena of everything that's going on, and he's got a very secure place in
Yeah.
McLaren, so he doesn't have to think about changing seats. Well, as his ex partner Carlos, he's a bit of a struggle now with choosing which team he wants to go to. Is there any update on where he's going, Arjun? Or
Well, it is still again now more rumors have come out because Alpine wanted him. Mercedes, in fact, is looking out now because Kimi Antonelli wasn't performing as they
Mhm.
expected. But then Kimi Antonelli also won a feature race in F2 this week. So altogether, say for Mercedes as a constructor, it's a pretty good week.
Right? Uh,
But yeah, but with Carlos Sainz, of course, there is still something going on. Probably by summer break, we'll see what is actually happening with him. But I also need to point out right now with Red
mhm.
Bull, Sergio Perez. I know we have been talking Sergio Perez for the past 3, 4 episodes, but now he's basically playing with the bull.
I love the way you said that. He's playing with the ball. I love it. I love that. Yeah.
I was gonna say playing with the fire, but I was like, okay, wait, that's not
Yeah.
fire,
No.
it's bull.
Okay. Now this statement I'm gonna make is pretty much harsh, but I mean it's the truth. So I'm gonna let it out in that way. No sugarcoating anything.
Yeah.
Checo Perez is a very good driver, but he is the Robin Hood of Max Verstappen. Now, what I mean is that he's taking care of him, of his leftovers. He's more like a, okay, you win and I'm just behind you, so I'll protect as long as you're getting the points and you're dominating the race. I'm right behind you, just in case someone tries to come and take over you. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to slow them down. That's what I meant. I meant like Max is like
Mhm.
Batman, and then Checo Perez is like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
You know, he's not as good as Max. I don't think anyone can be as good as Max. Not saying that Max is the number one driver. I'm just saying that, and when he's sitting in a Red Bull car, no one can beat him.
Fair enough,
And
of course. Of course, of course.
Checo Perez, He's a very hard working driver. He's very consistent when it comes to gaining points. He's always in the points. But he's I mean not always, but majority of the time. He does struggle in the middle section of the grid. But if he's in the top 10, top six positions, he's pretty much okay. Do I have to say anything about Checo
Yeah,
Perez's performance from the last few races? I feel like he's struggling. I think there's a lot of things that's going in his head. As a viewer, I can see it the way he is. I don't even see him do interviews as much post race. It's
yeah.
mostly Max, Lando Norris, uh, Ricardo. Ricardo is one big topic as well nowadays. But Lewis, obviously, and George Russell. But Checo Perez needs to really settle down. I think there is some strategy that I'm trying to understand as as a viewer. What Red Bull is actually thinking of keeping Checo Perez? Is it a contract? Does he have a 2 year contract, or Red Bull is just trying to seek out a new driver until they find someone else? Checo Perez would be driving for them. And then obviously, Arjun, you said that Checo Perez is at the verge of losing his seat, and Ricardo might replace him.
Well, we have some information right now about Checo Perez's
Okay, let's hear
contract.
it.
So Checo Perez was basically given a one plus
Uh-huh.
one contract. So like how Lewis got for this year and the
Hmm.
next year, like a 1+1, where 1 year they race, second year is optional depending on the
Right.
performance. The clauses basically last night actually came out, where basically it says one of the clause is Sergio Perez must not be more than 100 points behind
Right.
Max
Okay.
Verstappen after the Belgian
Hmm.
Grand Prix. Currently, the gap between Verstappen and Sergio is
Okay.
119
And
points.
wow. Okay, that's
Okay,
now okay.
and Sergio Perez is also required to be within 5 places of Verstappen in the
Hmm.
standings. Currently, he's fifth, while Verstappen leads the drivers' championship at 237 points to Sergio Perez's 118. And he's again not that far away from George and Lewis, because George and Lewis are at 111 and 110. And again, it's probably say they both of them getting P5 or P6 together, and Sergio not in the points will easily push him back the order even further. And yeah, since Miami, Sergio has only scored 11 points in 5 races and 1 sprint. He qualified 19th in the British Grand Prix because again he beached the car in the gravel and tried to run it off, but he couldn't. In fact, I actually saw the desperation of Sergio Perez during quali, where he didn't turn off the car. He was still in the car. Marshals had to tell him to turn off the car because he was like, "Oh, why can't you push the car just so that then because there's like an escape road." So when later in the qualifying, Max also ended up doing the same thing, but he managed to get the car through that escape road so that he can get off to the track, which significantly damaged the RB20's underflow. So he did the same things. Sergio Perez is basically like I like Oscar Piastri has crossed him. It is more so this basically has basically decreased Red Bull's competitive advantage because pretty much what Christian Horner says is that McLaren has two drivers fighting for the championship. Ferrari has it, Mercedes has it. Why not us? This is the biggest question. And again, because Red Bull at the moment has got 5 drivers. They've got Verstappen, Perez, Ricciardo, Sonoda,
Right.
Lawson. Liam Lawson, idly again, because we even spoke this last week, where Red Bull management rather wants a junior driver in the Visa
So,
Cash App RB
Arjun,
team.
I understand this, but why do you think? I'm sorry to cut you off, but I really want to know what do you think Red Bull's strategy is? Why are they keeping Checo Perez? I want to know this answer.
Well, again, one bit what I understood is that okay, they probably renewed the contract just so that they could kind of get him up to speed
Hmm.
with performance. Because again, with all drivers, they try to not perform. Like if they're not uncertain about what's their future, they'll probably what do you call not perform as expected. So Red Bull in a way was like, okay, you know what? Let's kind of get this done because the plan initially of bringing Ricardo is Checo eventually phases out. Ricardo steps in onto Checo's position, and he's out of
Right.
picture.
Okay.
But Ricardo didn't. So, and this was basically planned mid-season. But Ricardo's initial races didn't actually give a solid backing for Red Bull to basically promote Ricciardo to Red Bull, which basically ended up, they were like, okay, for a longer term, Sergio Perez can be fighting. But then at the same time, Sergio Perez, since Miami, hasn't been scoring points. In fact, Nico Hülkenberg has overtaken Sergio Perez in the number of points received in a far more less powerful car. So this, in a way, triggered everything. And in a way, for strategy-wise, yes, Max Verstappen, they don't want to threaten Max Verstappen's position. But at the same time, Max knows what is the job and he will do the job, irrespective. So I think we got to see, because both Ricciardo and Perez have given time till the Belgian Grand Prix. Because Belgian Grand Prix is the final race before we head for the summer break. So by that time, if something happens, if Ricciardo improves his performance, he will get the seat. If not, Sergio Perez will still manage to retain his seat and his contract for future. That's what I think.
I think you may be right. You may be wrong, Arjun. I need a. I mean, I'm trying to do my research, but no one's giving a definite answer up to why people. I mean, not people, but why Red Bull is still letting Checo Perez drive, and they can definitely dominate the race if they get a better driver than him. Not saying he's the worst driver, but I think he's not worth Red Bull's time and energy. I think he'll be good in Haas or Williams, or I think Haas and Williams. I think those two are Alpine as well. I think three teams, these three teams are actually pretty good. I think all the Formula One teams
Well,
on the grid are pretty good. Obviously, there are more substantial ones.
except let's say Sauber wouldn't be put in that category because they haven't scored a point. We are halfway through the season. 12 races done. Another 12 and we are done. So now at least we should be at least by this halfway we should have a pecking order in terms of how the teams are performing. It's halfway through, they haven't scored a point. So realistically speaking, even though say Williams, they are struggling to get the point, but they have got a point.
No, I understand that, but Arjun, Checo Perez can either stay or he could leave. There's no middle. So, let's say as a team, if you were a team principal, do you think he should have an opportunity to drive on the grid? Any team, and which team, and why?
Well, seeing the performance, you realize you're having the fastest car, the most powerful car once DRS flaps are opened. And you basically don't end up performing on that. I'm pretty sure on any other car, your performance will basically, if this is the same bit, they will be in danger of getting points. So I would say rather open way to a new Formula One talent.
Right.
Because the Formula One talent pool, it's huge. F2 talent pool is huge. In fact, there are drivers like Liam Lawson who basically is looking for a seat. And in fact, it's now Helmut Marko himself said, if we are not able to give Liam Lawson a seat, we're going to give him, he's going to be a free agent. Doesn't need to race under the Red Bull banner. And in fact, this is not even me. In fact, Jensen Button, previous F1 driver, has said, if Perez doesn't perform well after Hungarian Grand Prix, which basically comes up in another 9 days. If he doesn't perform by then, he should be sacked. And Red Bull themselves, not the racing bit, but the Red Bull, the corporate Red Bull, has basically given an ultimatum. They were like, they need to decide it over the summer, and they clearly use the words, this situation cannot go on forever.
No, I agree with them.
Again, it will be harsh, but Red Bull is a team known to take harsh decisions. Again, as I said earlier, you're fighting a bull over here. If you don't have the strength to fight the bull, you're basically going to lose it.
Look, I'm not. I think you're just pressurizing Red Bull a lot. I think any team would do this. I think if I were a team principal, I would have kicked him off way early. I think Red Bull's actually being nice to Checo Perez.
Yeah, in fact, we were disputing this a couple of episodes back. Yeah. Pierre Gasly, Alex Albon, all these people, really nice drivers. And yet, what's happening?
Yeah, you know what? Now that I think of it,
Nothing.
Alex raced, he got kicked out. Who's the other driver? I forgot. Pierre
Pierre
Gasly, he
Gasly.
drove, kicked
Pierre.
out. But for Checo Perez, for some reason, he's been driving a ball and he still maintains a contract with Red Bull, which is surprising to me. And Arjun, there has to be some reason. I really want to find out. You know, guys, all the listeners, by the end of the next episode, I'm gonna come out with some theory, and I'm gonna let you guys know about my theory of why Checo Perez is in Red Bull still, even though he may be out, and I do feel sympathy for him. But brother, if I was a Red Bull team principal, I would have kicked him out way earlier because time is money. Formula One is not just about racing; it's also about other things that you guys do not know about. Red Bull,
Yeah.
Formula One is a money. It's like a money factory for rich people to get richer. So
Agreed.
let's just say this is. I'm telling you the most in the most layman language right now, the Formula One equals money. And when I say money, I mean capital letters, caps lock, underline, make it all green and shiny. It's all about money and power. Lewis Hamilton said this in his book. He said cash is king in Formula One, and I absolutely agree with him.
In fact, that was. In fact, that's one of the
Episodes,
episodes on Netflix.
exactly.
Cash
It
is King.
is. Yes, you're right.
But yeah, in fact, like I've been following on Twitter, the meme is basically Logan Sargent finishing ahead of Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent, Eno Williams finished in P11, P11 or P12. I'm not exactly sure, but a Williams. Yeah, I don't know. I just really hope things. If Sergio Perez could get his act together and kind of stay within the top 10, he will be able to
You know,
retain a seat.
there's a
Because you've got Daniel Ricciardo
Uh-huh.
improving. Daniel Ricciardo is his trajectory is really improving right now. That he has already out qualified in the triple header 2 out of 3 times. He has out qualified his teammate.
you know, Arjun,
And in fact,
there's a saying in
yeah,
Hindi, and obviously I'll translate it. और कुत्ते का दिन आता है. Which translate to
Exactly.
well, the exact translation is
every dog has a day.
and I think Logan Sargent, his days are coming. He's a very good driver. I could see it.
Idly, he's also going to come in is coming in pressure because James Walls idly want him also to be fighting because that's the same case because Alex basically got all the points and Logan is basically again don't know what's coming up. We'll have
Fair
to
enough.
see. But personally speaking, like again. I would like to see both those Williams in because idly he's now being compared with Nicholas
That's-
Latifi. That is an insult. That is an insult without calling it
I
an insult.
really think when people start comparing, it's a bad thing because even though people compare Lewis and Max, but they know there's a very big difference. But with the both
Yeah.
drivers, these two drivers, there's not much difference other than the fact that he's racing for Red Bull and he's racing for Williams. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Formula One. You know, when you read about Formula One, you always read and you learn something new every day, even though you thought you knew everything about it. It's crazy. It's phenomenal. Formula One is. I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, Formula One news never dies. You'll always see something coming in and out.
Some, yeah, definitely. Even if it's like off season as well, something somewhere will come up. But yeah, I need to talk about Haas. Man, those guys out qualified their constructor for the very first time. And literally, Nico Hulkenberg has been on a streak. In fact, let's take a look on the triple header points. Nico Hulkenberg is right behind Carlos Sainz. Again, he's doing some pretty solid job for Haas. Probably say if Gunther was still the team principal, he wouldn't be having those tough calls with Gene Haas.
Honestly, I'm telling you this. I think it is very surprising to see him score because he's such a he's like a backbencher of Formula One. Even in one of the
Exactly.
interviews, he was like, "How does it feel to drive a Formula One car?" And I was like, yeah, normal.
No, he's German at the
Yeah,
end
yeah.
of the day. He's not going to end up going like too emotional. He's got to be like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing my job,
Yeah,
yalla
yeah, no,
bye.
fair enough.
This is like he's doing his stuff like pretty nicely. In fact, probably I believe 2017 or 2018 was the last time Haas had a really good result. He's just sticking it there. And again, right now it's just that Haas has got more sponsors, which in a way is
Yeah.
good for the team.
I think House was in a
But yeah,
devastating place during the Russia and Ukraine war. Yeah, they lost a driver.
I know.
And Nikita wasn't
Yeah.
even a part of this. He was against it. He didn't. He wasn't pro. He wasn't pro Russia. He didn't even know what was happening. No, I mean he did know, but he was like, "But just a driver. Like I just why you kicking
Let
me
me
out?"
allow me to drive. Well, again, American team, Russian. This one again, geopolitics. A lot of geopolitics. That is, but again, coming back to the race, I really want to shed light on McLaren's strategy. Again, they had a solid car on the, and like they clearly knew on the last stint, medium tires were the one to go, and they had fresh sets which clearly can easily allow Lando to win. Rather, they went on used set of softs. And to be very honest, let's take it with ex McLaren driver Lewis. Lewis, for example, he clearly knows how to manage his tires. It's in fact one of Lewis's specialty. Probably the tire may be dead, he will at least try to run that off. That's something which technical director James Alson actually said. Like he compared himself, like Lewis, with Michael Schumacher in terms of tire management bits. But you're basically going on that final scenario. It's like a kind of a condition between wet and dry track, and then I felt like Lando just pushed too hard on that softs. That towards the end, it was just like it didn't actually give him advantage. Whereas Oscar Piastri was lapping quicker than him. Verstappen, in fact, on hards was lapping quicker than him. So again, I don't know. What you have anything to say
Yeah.
on that, Mihir?
Look, as a driver would. Okay, so there are two ways to understanding this, right? The driver's perspective and the data given to the driver. As much as the data is very accurate, the driver gets a feel of the track. So maybe he made a decision based on it'll get maybe the track will heat up, maybe it will start drying out a bit. But knowing UK and obviously living here for the last more than 8 months, rain is expected anytime. The weather here is bipolar. Like 1 second it will be sunny, the next second it's raining. It's pathetic. It is what it is, right? Now, coming back to
Yeah.
Lando Norris's decision, he might have been a little optimistic about him maybe going quick on soft tires, use soft tires. I think that's a very bad decision. Um, the track was a bit wet, and it will only get wet more throughout. The weather forecast did say it's going to be a very cloudy, rainy day. What was he thinking? Maybe he was thinking that he could really push it through and see if he can actually make sure he could at least get the fastest lap, if not a podium. See, people make mistakes. Drivers
Okay.
are they're in immense pressure. They've been trained to understand that in high pressure situations they need to think 10 times more quicker than anyone else. That's fine. Lando Norris is still learning. He's still a very young driver as compared to other drivers like Lewis Hamilton and Alonso. So he's in that learning stage, and I think every driver needs to make a mistake in order to actually learn. There's a really good saying from Fernando. He said, "You can make n number of mistakes, but make sure you never repeat the mistakes. So you make new mistakes, that's fine. Make sure you never go back to them." So Lando Norris will understand. I know. I'm talking highly. I'm talking highly about Lando Norris because I actually support Lando Norris now a little bit. I think other than all the
Mm,
fandom that he has, oh my god, he's so cute and this and that, and all. Lando Norris has an outstanding talent. He's a very young driver with very young blood. And in today's generation of Formula One, Lando Norris is peaking. People want
Agreed.
aspire to be like Lewis, but they want to be Lando Norris. There's two different variations now.
No, see again, Lewis is one generation. Say Lewis, Fernando, and all those were one generation of Formula One
Right.
drivers. Lando is the coming generation of Formula One drivers. Like Lando, Albon, Russell, Leclerc, like all these drivers are coming in that phase. Whereas you look at what do you
You forgot
call
Max. You
Lewis?
forgot Max.
Max is basically that transition one
Mm.
in between. Okay, because Max was there when all those what people were there, and now it's a different batch. Say because I will say Lewis, Lando, Ricardo, Perez, Hulkenberg, all these were one generation of drivers. Like yeah, like Ricardo came later, Perez came later, Hulkenberg also came later, but in that one probably like the one which kind of kept on going on were these drivers. So they're trying to adapt. Like Fernando we saw last year with the Aston Martin, he did wonders. But this year again the car wasn't up to mark. He couldn't deliver what he was basically signed up for. So again, at the end of the day, it's also there may be that bit of oh you want to be you aspire to be Lewis but you want to be Lando. It may be there because we are not having a single generation of drivers. We're having multiple generation of drivers over here. That's what I personally
I
feel.
know.
But yeah, but then you would rather feel like okay, it's just that he was too over
Yeah,
optimistic going on a used set of
I
softs.
think
Yeah, because this is something which again on Twitter I saw, where they said that okay, Lando basically lost nearly a full pit stop worth of time, because on one end you have Oscar Piastri going on mediums. Data is there that this tire is performing compared to the softs. It's lapping quicker, but then you end up going for used sets and certain people are like why would you even ask a driver, but to be very honest I actually understood that during the race as well because there was this one time where Peter Bonington asked Lewis do you want to go for inches and he's like no mate the track is still wet. So again it is I personally I don't know if this is right but it's more like a 50-50 gauge chance over here where you would need the stats but ideally you would also need how the driver feels, how the tire works, and then accordingly kind
no,
of
no,
do the
exactly. I
move.
mean, that's exactly what I said previously as well, Arjun. And it's how you. It's like AI and actually us doing work. You know, you can see a vast difference between AI's work and our work. We have a little bit. We add a little bit of empathy, a little bit of emotion. Data is just like rain, no rain, maybe rain, but high chance of rain. But then there's these kind of things happening where some maybe some parts of the track are wet, but some top part of the tracks are dry. It's really on the driver's understanding and mindset. And obviously, London Norris took the opportunity and he saw that he may be passing Lewis Hamilton and Max. But he chose the wrong decision, and I think he understood that. He's definitely not. He's definitely not going to make that mistake anytime soon. I vouch for that. Lando Norris is racing very
No,
smartly.
because he, no, because he himself went out public being like, I really hate being in this position where it's just because of if a very silly
Mm.
error. So he basically admits to it. But yeah, at least it was a race where the lead was sitting and changing depending on the weather. Because in fact, so during this British Grand Prix, there was the ex Top Gear presenter
I
Jeremy
heard.
Clarkson.
Yeah, I heard it.
Jeremy Clarkson went out saying, "Okay, if it's gonna win, it's gonna be the old gens in this race. It's either Alonso
Mhm.
or Lewis." And he basically, in fact, he was like, I bet to it. Probably he would have won made a fortune if he
Yeah.
did bet.
My friend Shane, he actually
Uh,
bet £15 on Red Bull finishing P1, P2, and he lost. And he was like, why did you tell me? And I was like, I was surprised myself.
well, again, no
Mm.
one knew. But then again, performance was absolutely
Yeah.
exhilarating. And literally, the combination, like during that situation, the time where Lewis overtook Russell, and then later on, both of them going off track, and then Lando enters the scene, and then Lando tries to like get through again, and then later on, Oscar coming in to the scene. It was all, uh, I will say, it was clean action.
Yeah, it was clean action. Also, let
Like,
let the listeners know all these cars are Mercedes engines.
yeah, so whichever we
Doesn't
say,
know. Yeah.
Williams, Aston Martin, McLaren,
Mercedes, obviously
Mercedes,
Mercedes.
all are basically powered by
Engines.
Mercedes high performance powertrain.
It's crazy.
Um, yeah, and in fact, just one more bit though. So Esteban Ocon, he got sacked pretty much say after Monaco Grand Prix, and he is right now. It's rumored again, no
Mm.
confirmation yet, but one outlet called Racing News 365, a reliable outlet, mentioned he is on course to going to
Haas.
Haas. The Frenchman is going to come along with Oliver Behrman, who scored his points, still higher than Logan Sargent at the Drivers'
Mm.
Championship. Still, yeah, and he's going to
What do
join
you think?
him. Again, you have a rookie on one side. Again, you cannot call him a rookie anymore. He basically
Yeah.
got into a car in like what under 24 hours, and he managed to
Yeah.
score points behind Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton. So I'll not call him a rookie. He's got what it takes. But Esteban Ocon, I'm surprised.
You're surprised. I'm shocked.
Why?
I don't know. This is gonna sound so bad. I don't see Ocon as a very good driver. I've said multiple times all drivers are talented, all the drivers are this, but I think there are better drivers on the grid than him. And Haas, I think Haas has the ability to win. If not win, at least come very close to the obviously top four competitors, which is Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren. But I feel like it also
Yep.
comes down to the driver, and obviously the car plays a huge role, and where your starting grid plays an immense role as well. But if you have a very good driver, you see William. I mean Haas. When I saw Haas in the middle section of the grid, I was shocked, and I was like, Haas does have it in them.
When a German is behind the wheel, a lot of things
Mm.
can happen. Especially, okay, let's discount the bit of Mick Schumacher. But when it's an experienced German who have faced off through different generations of
Mm.
Formula One cars, he knows what it is.
Talking about German cars,
And he's got,
talking about German cars, are you excited for Audi coming to Formula One?
of course, like in fact, it is gonna be it's gonna be a battle. I pretty much see it. Probably they could emerge like those, like a Braun GP. First season, first win, you don't know. Probably Nico Hulkenberg will probably win his first win with Audi. God, I don't know how that's going to happen, but we'll see. Because he, at the moment, has a record of the most number of races without a win.
Yeah.
And it's an unwanted record. And I'm pretty sure he rather himself don't want to extend that record any further.
I think Audi coming to Formula One would really shock the Formula One industry. Because Mercedes, I mean, BMW was there at one time, but BMW pulled out. Honda was there.
And BMW was basically partnered with
Yeah.
Sauber. It was BMW Sauber, now it's going to be Audi Sauber.
So it's going to be interesting because obviously Audi is dominating other motorsports, and they what one's motorsport they did not tap into was Formula One. It's going to be interesting. I was talking to one of my friends who's also a Formula One enthusiast. He said to me, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, "I don't know, but if Audi comes, then I might have to support three teams then: Mercedes, McLaren, and Audi." I really think Audi will pull something through. Audi being very advanced in their tech, in the racing industry, they've got a very immense history. Audi is going to be a very good start for Formula One. I think other teams should be very worried Audi coming in because obviously, like Mercedes produces engines. Audi would, and also Mercedes. From I want to really put this in right now as well that Mercedes, as much as they promote Formula One, they also produce luxury cars, right? They're not really into that uh, sporting history. They have history, but they're not as big as Audi. Audi has a very active sporting history, and they still till date have Audi motorsports going on. There was a 24-hour Le Mans in Dubai that I went to. It was all Audi cars. It was all Audi
Yeah.
cars, and I was like, I don't even see one Mercedes car here.
No, I feel like Mercedes is rather more of a team that will go, say, probably like. Because, yeah, wait, I did see in 24 hours of Le Mans a
No, no,
Mercedes car.
but
There was
majority
a.
of them were Audis.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. But again, Audi has got different
Yeah.
verticals in racing itself. Mercedes is not that. Mercedes is very selective of which vertical do they want to race or
Mhm.
participate in. So again, it's something which again time will tell us what is going to happen and how things are going to work. But yeah, keeping all of that aside, and yeah, I just need to talk one final thing. Pierre Gasly, 50 place grid penalty. What was that? Like, like I just felt like rather they just built a brand new car and brought it from Enstone, because he changed literally everything. Like, what do you call the engine, the MGUK, the MGUE, whatever stuff are there with MGUs, everything is changed. And and likely say for example, if he got a P1, he
Mhm.
qualified P1, he got a 20 place grid penalty, it will at least take 3 races of P1
Mhm.
qualifying to basically finish that entire penalty. Because I just don't know, like, what, like, again, they're trying their level best to work something out. In fact, it's even rumored that Alpine will ditch Renault engines and go for Mercedes engines.
I think that's a good move from their side.
And in fact, Mercedes were like, oh, it's okay, we're happy because, anyways, Aston Martin is leaving. We wouldn't be, anyways, producing 4 engines, rather, we'll give one of them for
Exactly.
them. Probably Renault may come on us on a small halt for a while.
Yeah, I was just thinking of something very stupid. Can you imagine if Audi comes up and he goes, "Yeah, we're not producing good engines. Hey, Mercedes, do you want to give us your engine? Can you?" It's gonna be such a big powerhouse, an Audi aerodynamic car with a Mercedes engine. That would. It's like when you mix Indian players with Pakistani players. I think that no one can beat anyone. Like I feel like if India and Pakistan come together as a team, no other team can beat this team. It's the same thing with Mercedes and Audi. If you join, if imagine if Audi, Mercedes, and BMW come together, collab. Oh my God, finish. Red Bull can say goodbye.
Red Bull basically won't be even
Red Bull would be
existing,
out of it,
probably.
bro. They would not. Okay, I'm just dreaming. Let's come back to reality. Uh,
Let's come back to reality, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then, as we said earlier, we are 9 days away. So we basically record this episode on Tuesday, the
mm,
9th of July. So for us, 9 days from now, we basically will be at Hungary for the
yep.
Hungarian Grand Prix. In fact, one of the cheapest races to attend in the Formula One calendar. Very cheap, in fact. Compare by the prices of Abu Dhabi or say Silverstone or Las Vegas. In that order, Hungary is like cheapest. Like from below, it's like the
Mhm.
top three. According to latest data, most expensive ones are Las Vegas, Miami, and Mexico. So Mexico is like average ticket price is $783. Miami comes at $878. Las Vegas comes at $1,617. Whereas, yes, the cheapest races, Chinese Grand Prix $199, Hungarian Grand Prix $207, and the Japanese Grand Prix at $264. Yeah. So pretty much it's on that line. And when you say look at the recently finished British Grand Prix, that basically is coming around say $689.
Damn.
It's
Yeah,
expensive
it
than
is
Abu Dhabi,
expensive.
which is Abu Dhabi comes at to $526. So again, it is
People
expensive,
ask me this
but
question. They're like, "Is it worth going to Formula One to see Formula One live?" I say it is not worth it unless until you get paddock, because in the paddock you are a part of the action. You
of
see,
course,
the pit crew.
or at least you're in
Yeah,
like the
grand show.
main
Yeah,
straight,
yeah,
the main grandstand. Then of course it is worth it. Otherwise, it's just more like, yeah, cars will come. In fact, the last time when I went to Abu Dhabi to
hmm
watch the race, a guy actually brought his iPad. He's watching F1 live on his iPad while basically watching the
yeah.
race
No,
live
fair enough. I mean,
on track.
I think because if you buy like one corner, let's say that you buy a ticket for one corner, you see the car for like maybe a half a second or 2 3 seconds, less than that. So there's no point
Exactly.
spending so much money. It's a souvenir to keep. If you want to go, it's a whole experience. I worked for Formula One Abu Dhabi for 2 days, and I hated it. I didn't see the match as well. Like, I mean, not the match, the race. So I can't believe I said match. I can't
Fair
believe I
enough.
said match. I'm so okay. I'm just
No, I feel you're basically you were just like so mixed up watching football and
yeah.
cricket.
No, I'm also watching cricket. Yeah, because I went for the India Pakistan match like last weekend. So it's in my head, sorry. But coming back to this,
Fair enough.
um, if you have paddock tickets, it's absolutely worth it. If you don't have paddock tickets, cello tickets made, it's not worth it. You're gonna hear one car just go. That's it. That's all you're gonna hear. You're gonna miss all the other action.
Exactly. Yeah. No, because in fact this year I was trying to book tickets for the Abu
Uh
Dhabi
huh.
Grand Prix. They're basically not selling the main grandstand tickets.
Okay. It's sold
They
out.
they like they're only no. It's not listed
Oh.
anymore. That tickets are no more listed anymore. I feel it's rather more given to those like
Mm-hmm.
sponsors, because again they get to see anything and everything. So only now there's a new thing called as the Horizon, with like 700 dirhams for the ticket for
Mm-hmm.
Sunday. It's basically just giving you the view from turns 2, 3, and 4. But and because I live in Abu Dhabi, like the pit exit is basically comes near to turn 2. Probably it's something which I feel like, yeah, depending on who. If you've got money, if you want to really
Uh,
watch, try watching it from a
yeah.
grandstand. If
Not worth
not,
it.
like, yeah, if you just or else if you gotta be like someone who just listens to those engines going on, then of course go ahead for it. Or otherwise, like, yeah, not worth it.
Yeah, I'm
You're right.
just sorry. I got some dust allergies. So all right, cool. Yeah, no, but
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and you want to say something fun?
I mean, I haven't watched the race, so I can't say much. But Arjun, top three drivers for you. Top worst drivers. Three. Let's go.
Based on the
Yes.
Silverstone
Yeah.
Western Grand Prix. I would say top three. Of course, I need to put
Okay.
Lewis because it
Mm-hmm.
is Lewis, and I will say from a performance perspective, I'm going to put Nico Hulkenberg. Again, solid drive, and probably I will put Alex
Okay.
Albon,
Wow. Okay.
because Alex Albon also he basically did manage his Williams back there. So I would say these three. I wouldn't say Norris, Verstappen, because again, usual
Fair
suspects.
enough.
Um, but yeah, seeing Albon come on top
Mm-hmm.
10 again, because he's part British, so of course, good to
Fair
see
enough.
that. And yeah, in terms of worst driver, I'm going to put it to Perez, of course. His P17 didn't make much big of a difference. I will also give it to Charles Leclerc. Again, I'm shocked that I'm saying Charles Leclerc, but I'm going to give it a Charles Leclerc because I thought he will at least fight his way back up to
Fair
top 10.
enough.
He didn't. In fact, Yeah, another driver I would say worst performance I will say is Bottas. I didn't see Bottas in his element. Got out literally in the first qualifying session
Mm-hmm.
itself. So yeah, these are will be my top three worst
Fair
drivers.
enough.
That'll be yours though. Wait, give me what's your worst? What are your list of worst
Well,
drivers?
oh wow, okay. I zoned out for a second. Sorry. Geez. Okay.
I was like,
I will
what's
have to. I
happening
haven't
over
watched the
here?
race, but
Cool.
from the results and the highlights I saw, I think I'll give the top three would be Lando Norris. I think Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, and I want to say Max.
You just basically set the podium.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, but all these three drivers are doing pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. I think worst
Fair enough.
drivers, I would say Carlos. Yeah, I think
Okay.
he could do much better. Also, I'm just very frustrated for his from him because he's not choosing the team. The windows are closing. I don't know what he's
I know.
expecting. Uh, and then I think I'll say then there's the Williams in the Haas.
You're rather not telling the drivers, but go for the
Yeah, I'll
teams.
just say Ferrari and Haas and Williams. Yeah,
Okay. Ferrari, Haas, and Williams. Well, okay. This, yeah, Hulkenberg is one on my list, so I'm still going to
fair enough.
keep it. In fact, I just want to add in that good drivers, I need to just put
Mm-hmm.
one more name,
Lance Stroll.
Lance
Yeah,
Stroll.
Lance Stroll's been pretty good.
P7 outqualified Alonso, and he basically maintained the gap between himself and Alonso, which is yeah nearly like 8 to 9 seconds gap he has kept between himself and Alonso, and they basically got points, 10 points from the race. Oh, by the way, we didn't discuss about the triple header points.
We didn't. Oh, okay, we didn't. Yep, you're right.
Okay, so as the triple header gets done, we have some points total which
Mm-hmm.
has come up. Of course, topping the chart, you've got Max Verstappen, 61
Mm-hmm.
points. Second place, Lewis Hamilton, 55
Right.
points, which we all like. Third one is Oscar Piastri. I've said this before and I'm going to say it right now. Do not discount Oscar. Do not. Lando Norris may have the hype, but Oscar has got the performance. So 43 points for Oscar, George with 42 points, Norris with 40 points, Sainz 38, Hulkenberg 16, Leclerc 12, Perez 11, Stroll 6. Stroll has still made it
Yeah,
there as well.
surprising, right?
Surprising. I can't believe that's happening. And in fact, Mercedes is, I believe, the top two teams in terms of getting number of points over the weekends, over the
Yeah,
three
it's pretty
triple headers.
surprising.
I mean, exactly don't know what's the final score tally, but then by the likes of it, I see it is pretty much with Mercedes or McLaren. If I'm calculating, say 55 plus 42 is like 97
Mhm.
points. Between between Hamilton and Russell, with Piastri and Norris, it's 43 plus 40, which is basically 83 points. So they are somewhere there. Verstappen 61 plus 11, it's basically like
Mhm.
72. So clear winner is
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Clear winner. Clear winner on this. Well, yeah, on that terrible disappointment, thank you so much for tuning on to another episode of Formula Pod. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, your support is always something which we appreciate. So support us through listening to us, following us on our Instagram, formula.pod. Some really exciting content coming out. Literally, I kind of went the extra mile. I've actually made Mihir do that, but then Mihir didn't. First did it, but then it's just that didn't reach my mark of expectations. But yeah, but he will do something out.
You know what? I have an
Sooner rather
idea.
than
I think
later.
we should post a blooper.
Yeah, if that's something which we'll keep it for the audience. You want to basically go listen to Mihir's bloopers. Like I've got a lot of them, like not just recording on camera, but also
Yeah.
on the show.
I think you
We've
should
got
do
a
that.
lot
I think you
for
should do
everyone.
that.
So yeah, this is going to be our opinion. Then you can tell on our socials as well. Do we put bloopers of Mahir? Yes or no?
We'll put a
Let us
story.
know.
We'll put a story.
But
as
yeah, we're putting up a story on this right now. But yeah, thank you so much, and yeah, we'll see you right before the Hungarian Grand Prix, or if situations don't favor our way, after the Hungarian Grand Prix. Until then, this is the entire crew from Formula 4 signing off.